What up, what up? Back with another video. So in this one, I want to talk about copying ideas when doing business here in Africa. And I've noticed that a lot of people tend to copy a lot here in Africa. For example, somebody can be selling French fries and chicken, what we call chips kuku. Chips kuku here in Swahili is pretty much chicken and chips. Because I'm in Tanzania right now. And the same strategy a lot of people are deploying here in Africa. If you go to Zimbabwe, if you go to Kenya, I'm sure in Ethiopia, places like that, Ghana, most people are copying each other. It's just, it is what it is. Somebody's selling chips here, their neighbor's selling chips. Somebody's selling chicken, their neighbor's selling chicken as well. Same thing even with clothing. Somebody can open up a boutique, I promise you, especially for you ladies. Somebody can be opening up a boutique right here. Literally right next door, your hater is going to open up another boutique right next door to you. Do you know what I'm saying? And what that does, unfortunately, it messes up the market for everybody. It makes it quite difficult for people to be profitable in whatever niche that they're in. How are you going to be able to charge, a really good rate for whatever clothing that you're selling if your neighbor is selling similar clothes? Probably from a similar supplier. And we all know where these clothes are coming from. Most likely, if they're good quality clothes, they're coming from Turkey or China. Well, mostly Turkey for the really, really good stuff, especially here in East Africa. It's coming from Turkey. The dresses, the good dresses, the suits. I've even noticed guys too. Guys will open up a store that sells suits, and then they will be competing with each other, and nobody's making money. Eventually, nobody's making money because they're all getting the suits from the same supplier over there in Turkey. And it's the same exact suits, same exact price. So the only difference is how good somebody is at selling something. What I'm saying is that we need more original ideas here in Africa, more originality. Similar to if you were to go to, let's say, the UK or the US, those markets they know how to do things very original. That's why a lot of Chinese copy the West. And a lot of Chinese have been copying the West for a long time because the West is very innovative. They come up with innovative ideas. If you look at most of the inventions, most of the patents, over the last, let's say, 100 years, they all came from the West, whether it's the UK or the US. What I'm saying is this. I know, if you want to run a successful business here in Africa, don't focus too much on copying. I'm not saying copying is a bad idea, because you might copy a business idea that will work, and you might execute that business better than the competition. Then well and good. Then you're winning there, you're winning. What I'm saying is that do your very best to be as original as possible versus trying to copy what everybody else is doing. Let me give you a good example of how you can be original in the market. Let's say this might be a really cool niche idea, by the way. For some of you guys that are good at sales, for you ladies that are good at sales, for you fellas that are good at sales, you might consider jumping into this niche. And this niche is low cost and it won't require you to spend a whole lot of money. All you need to know how to do is to know how to sell, and you're up and running. And you get a Wi-Fi connection, and you can start printing cash. Let me tell you how you do it. And the idea first. The idea is you find people that own a bunch of these boutiques. Let's say people that are selling suits for men, or for the ladies, other ladies that are selling dresses for the ladies. So instead of you copying and going to the same suppliers, opening up your own shop, you open up a studio, a studio like this one, with a good lighting, camera, and you do online, you set up an online shopping platform. And that online shopping platform is going to be a QVC for all the sellers of the clothes, all the sellers of all the suits in the market, or all the sellers of all the dresses in the market. So let's say, for example, there's a lady that sells wedding dresses. A good idea would be, if you're really good on camera, you're confident on camera, you set up your studio, and you go and negotiate a deal with the lady that is selling wedding dresses. All you do, you get those dresses and you're just doing online shopping. And I've already done a video for how online shopping is pretty much blowing up right now. It's already a thing over there in China, but nobody's really executing it at the next level here in Africa. And it doesn't take very much. Getting a camera, getting lighting, right? And getting a camera is not too expensive. You can even use your phone, guys. You don't need very much. That's an original idea right there. So instead of you worrying about spending money on inventory, setting up, renting a store, that's a headache. With this idea, you can set this up in your apartment. You rent your apartment even. Then you just go do a deal with the lady that is selling those wedding dresses. You pick 2 or 3 pieces or even 10 pieces. You go back to your apartment and you're doing presentations. You're doing reviews of the dresses. Be like, hey, I got 10 dresses today. Check out this one. And the reason why I like this one is because this, and that. And you're literally selling on live. And you're going live every single day. You're selling wedding dresses. The reason why this idea will work is because a lot of people here that already have these physical retail stores, these physical stores here in Africa, they don't know how to sell like that. They suck at sales. And they suck at sales in person, and they suck at sales. When it comes to like online sales, they don't even know how to do it. If they suck at sales in person, they could definitely get to suck online. This is how you come into the marketplace with an original idea. You're not blowing a whole lot of money, wasting thousands of dollars in inventory and sitting and waiting, hoping and praying somebody's going to see that inventory. No. So let's say, for example, you are Kenyan, because I'm going to Kenya very soon. Let's say you're Kenyan. You go to look for all the people that are selling, these clothes. And there are plenty, by the way, plenty of them. You set yourself up with a nice apartment over there in Kilimani, right, or whatever fancy neighborhood you want. And then buy a camera, or maybe use a nice iPhone. This is not an iPhone, it's Android. Get an iPhone for $200-300, maybe a used one. You set up your tripod, one light like the one I have right now. I got it for like $50. You set it all up. Less than $1,000 you're in business. Less than $1,000. And everything else is just borrowed. You're just borrowing these, and you're selling them, and then you're getting paid commission. You negotiate a commission. And all the sales are coming to you, right? And it becomes almost like a drop shipping model, but online. You're controlling the sale. And when the sale comes in, what you do is you get the storekeeper to deliver the product to the customer, whether it's on a motorbike, or they call them bodas here, get it delivered to the customer, like that. And maybe your online store, your QVC, it could be, I don't know, online shopping, live shopping Kenya, Kenya live shopping, whatever it is. You're going live every day. Every day you're live. Eventually, after like 6 months of that, grinding, you're cooked up in your apartment, you're eating noodles, living cheap, you know, grinding, going to the gym, working out, putting the work in. I promise you, within 6 months, you'll see the returns. And if you're not, maybe if you're not that good, within a year, you'll see the returns. I promise you will. Because consistency is something that's also lacking. That's one thing I want to mention. People copy ideas, but there's no consistency in anything. You might go to a spa, right? And it's very few businesses that can be consistent. And most of these businesses that are consistent are most of them are like, owned by foreigners. So it would be like a KFC, or what's a foreign-owned business? Any business that is owned by maybe the Turkish people, or franchise businesses that are owned by Americans. Those ones, they will have some level of consistency. But most of the small businesses, there's no consistency there. Zero. There's no consistency. But if you bring an original idea like the one that I just mentioned to you, where you're doing live shopping for other small businesses in town, and you're consistent, going live every single day, and you got a personality, you're gonna win. Because nobody else wants to do it. And nobody else can do it. You might start off whack. I'm not gonna tell you everything is gonna be good in the beginning. You might start off whack, people might be laughing at you in the comment section, making fun of you, but I promise you, by month 12 or month 6, you're gonna get the hang of it. You're gonna get the hang of it. And we'll be like, oh, I got this. Things are gonna be clicking. Before you know it, you get your first sale, like, man, I got this. Essentially what you're doing is you're putting in sweat equity. The game has changed, the world has changed. The game has changed, the world has changed. The person that comes into this market, what I mean by market in Africa is you're operating in regions. Let's say and also what I like about this idea is you can replicate this idea. If it works in Kenya, it'll work in Uganda. If it works in Uganda, it'll work in Rwanda. You see how you got 3 markets already? Go set up your residency in Kenya. There's a way to get your residency over there. You set up your business. Make sure you're paying your taxes. You figure out a way to collect money. Collect payments from your sales. And you're in business. You get your equipment, get your Wi-Fi. You're in. You're in there. You negotiate with the small businesses that have the inventory. You're in business already. You replicate that in Uganda. Go figure out how to get your residency in Uganda. Set it up. Repeat, rinse and repeat. What worked in Kenya? And then you go to Rwanda. Rinse and repeat what worked in Uganda and Kenya. You got 3 markets already. And what's so beautiful about this is you can operate in all 3 markets in one location. Let me tell you how. This is how great this idea is. You can literally have a setup where you are selling on behalf of your people over there in Uganda while you're in Kenya. You can sell on behalf of your people over there in Rwanda while you're in Kenya. Or you can do the same thing. You can be in Rwanda 1 month selling product for the Kenyans. Because everything is online anyway. There's no borders online. There's no borders online. As long as you've set up the right systems and say, okay, this QVC, this online shopping channel is for the Kenyans only, and we only sell into the Kenyan market on this channel. Then you have a second channel. This channel is only for the Rwandans. We're selling to the Rwanda market. Third channel, this is for the Ugandans. We're selling for the Uganda market. and you set up the right systems, you can be like fluid. You can be moving from market to market. 3 months you're in Kenya, 3 months you're in Uganda, 3 months you're in Rwanda, like that. But it requires you to be very creative. And if you're ready to explore this business idea that I just talked about, because I know how to execute it, if you're ready to explore this business idea that I just talked about, it doesn't require too much startup cost. That's what I love about it. And you're not holding inventory of your own. You're literally like the salesperson for people online. All you got to do is learn how to do sales. Simple. Have the right setup. Who's going to beat you? Let those guys compete with each other on the other level. There's no competition where you're going to be at. Zero competition. Who's going to catch you when you're operating at that level? Nobody. Because everybody's too busy trying to compete next to each other in these little stores. Nah. You know what everybody else is? Everybody's on this. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. That's exactly what you do. You create a TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for Kenya. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook for Uganda. Same thing for Rwanda. It's a QVC for each one. If you guys don't know what QVC is I don't want to assume everybody knows what I'm talking about, by the way. QVC is a concept of shopping through television. The Americans used to do this. In fact, I think they still do it. Back in the day, back in the 90s, there would be, I think after hours, maybe after like midnight or whatever, if you switch on your TV after midnight, there'll be people that are trying to sell you stuff on TV, and it was live. And you could call in, hotline, 1-800 number, call in, order something, and they'll deliver it to your house. So it's the same concept. So the Americans have perfected it. The Americans invented it. The Americans invented it. And guess what? The Chinese perfected it. They stole that idea and they perfected it. Now it's time for you to bring it to Africa. Operate it in Africa and take things to the next level here, because nobody's doing it. If they are, I don't know. I've never met them. I hope to meet them one day. But I know for sure, based on my research, currently here in 2025, November 23rd, 2025, nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing live shopping like that. Yeah, there's some people, and I've done a video about this, especially here in Tanzania, that are very good with Instagram. They will post heavily on Instagram. They're very consistent on Instagram. Posting about how they got all these products for sale and everything. But the game changer is going live. And you go live at times where people are more focused on going online and shopping. For example, right now, I know for sure, right? There are people here in Africa that will go on a live, jump on a live on like a Sunday afternoon or Sunday, evening while they're relaxing, getting ready to go to work. Okay? So going live on a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, because most people are hungover, right? Because tonight they're drinking, tonight is Saturday night. That means tomorrow morning they're going to be hungover. Afternoon, all they're going to be doing is doom scrolling. The Americans like to doom scroll, but the Africans don't doom scroll. The Africans, they like to stalk each other on social media. So be on there. Everybody's on this thing right here. Everybody that's got money is on this thing right here. That's where you need to be at. Not to be out competing with everybody else. No, that's the cheat code. Cheat code is here. Not spending hundreds of dollars on a store next to your competition. That's not original. That's copying. If you're ready to work with the best, and explore this idea. Schedule time. I'll walk you through how to set it up. We can brainstorm on how to set it up. You can figure out what markets you want to operate in. And I'll help you brand it, everything. Even how to promote, the business online through socials. I can help you with all of that. I'll be your best business coach ever. You're going to win. Schedule time. Blessed.